Okay, it's week 10. I just got up and I'm not sure it's gonna stick, but I want to get the video done today and nobody's awake, so this is the best time to do it. Um, and it's week 10 of my second 100 days of making comics. Um, and I'm just sort of keeping track of what I do on my comics for 100 days and try to spend at least a half hour doing it every day. Um, So this weekend I was at Dodecacon, um, and I didn't do great on sales, but it's kind of hard when you're pushing your free book. So hopefully it translates to Kickstarter donations. Columbia is a cool little town. It's but it's got lots of coffee shops and stuff. So not only was I handing out flyers at the or ash cans at the convention, I was also handing them out, or I was dropping them off at shops all over town. So hopefully that turns into attention. Then because I've been getting kind of stuck again, so I'm actually doing thumbnails for a change. Um, and I believe I showed these last week. I'm not gonna go back and watch it right now, but I did like a sketch of Sage, the main character, and there's a little seal in there. Um, I don't know if there's uh, because I made that joke about the zombie seals. Um, there might be a reference to it in the book where I'm working on it. There might not be enough pages to get to that. Then I did some more. There's a sketch of a dinosaur. Can't really say what that's for, but it's not for the book. There's no dinosaurs in the book. So I just this weekend I thumbed out like the next 20 pages. Um, and since I did my last video on Thursday instead of Monday, there isn't much more that I did knock out 2 more pages, but I don't want to get back up right now. Um, I know I did at least 2 more pages since because I stayed up. We left Thursday night, so I really haven't. Yeah, so that makes sense that I wouldn't have done much since then. So so I basically wrote the because I don't know if you could tell on there, but my thumbnails, it has all the dialogue written in there because I don't script things because um, I don't do like a million drafts like Kevin does because I always change things when I do script. So like in here, I had a whole thing with a fireplace poker was going to be one of the things she takes with her, and then I got an idea of what would be even better. So, um, um, and so that's pretty much it. Like I said, I just wanted to knock the video out real quick and hopefully by thinking about it first thing in the morning, it gets me more motivated to stay on task. One thing that was really cool is the book is supposed to be, like young adults. I have all ages on the flyer, but it's just because I forgot to change it. But I think it's more of a young adult book because there's. I kind of want it to be a trilogy. I have an idea for a second book. Originally, it was a separate book idea entirely, and then I figured out how Sage could fit into the story. Um, and it kind of like I've been thinking Hardy Boys in a way, and I had a phase when I was a kid where I was reading Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew. Like I knocked one out in a weekend once, and then the next thing I knew, all my relatives had bought me Hardy Boys books. Um, Yeah, I didn't like the others as much as I liked that first one. I have no idea what it was. And yeah, it's kind of surprising because I'm kind of known for my memory, and um, I have no idea what was in that book that I read. Uh, Maybe I didn't finish it, and it just started good. Yeah, I don't remember the details, but anyways, I had a whole bunch of the damn things, and so since I kind of so for the last couple months, I've been kind of thinking about how like there's sort of a mystery element, and it kind of fits um, with Sage's personality that that being like a detective or whatever, would kind of make sense. Um, they're not going to be as like kind of contrived like uh, all the book ideas for for these characters. They're going to be things that like people will identify with from their own kind of childhood. It's not going to be, uh, you know, it's not going to be something like murder or whatever. That like it's going to be stuff that kids really deal with. So uh, and like kind of the pitch that I'm doing, like it's kind of nice because a lot of times my plots are kind of complicated. Like if I try to explain what mental's about, it's not um, it's sort of a mess because I kind of let it get away from me. Um, but um, but with the Night on Ghost Island, all I have to say is it's about a kid who doesn't believe in ghosts, and so they get dared to spend the night on a haunted island. Um, and um, yeah, it's pretty nice to pitch it that way. But anyways, the reason I started going into this is because the book's supposed to be for young adults, and when I was handing out flyers because the convention got really slow. Actually, not got really slow. It just was. But the first day, it was they brought in busloads of kids, and so I was like, "This is awesome! I'm gonna be able to give out lots of comics and uh, to the target audience." And these kids were not really super interested in being there, and so which is kind of a sad state of the world. I mean, kids are not. To be fair, I was one of two people selling comic books like that they had made themselves. So it wasn't really a comic convention. I don't know what to call it. It was just a really small show, and um, anyways, so so I was a little like disappointed the first day because none of these kids were interested in my book, and I was thinking, you know, I wasn't panicking too much because I figured that adults would like my book, and they'd find so, and they're the ones who donate to Kickstarter, so I wasn't that upset. But then, but a little bit, because I did kind of have the idea that this would be a young adult book. And so the second day, I was walking around handing out flyers, or ash cans, and the one guy, he's like, "Oh, yeah, I got this yesterday. My daughter's been bugging me about how the story ends." And, I had told it. So that was pretty cool. And he told me that she was 12, I think, and that's the age of the characters. So about so that's like right where I want to be, and so that I was like, that's cool. That was the reaction I was going for. Um, so I had that kid excited, and then the third day I had a kid trying to buy copies of Mental because he basically was so excited about Ghost Island, he wanted to read something else I did, and I was like, well, you have to bring your parents by before I'll sell you Mental, because like, um, other than language, I don't know if there's anything explicitly bad about Mental. Okay, there's drug use, but it's marijuana, so I don't really count that. But anyways, well, I count it for me because I don't smoke marijuana. But anyways, um, there's So there's drug use, but there's nothing really like explicitly bad. But the thing is that mental is so suggestive that I've had people tell me that I'm really good at drawing naked women, and there's no naked women in the book. It's like the head in the box at the end of Seven. They don't actually show it, and that's how mental is. But people are convinced that I've had a couple people say stuff to me about it, and yeah, so it's just like I don't feel right selling it to kids, and I put a little warning label on there. So yeah, if the kid's parents had come by, I would have been fine selling it to them, but I didn't want anybody to be surprised by it. But this video is 10 minutes now, so I must be getting rambly. Um, and hopefully after I'm done with this, I'll get up and get to work instead of going back to sleep. But I still have my cough, so I might need to sleep too. Alright, bye.